Thank you for listening to this podcast from TRE, Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain and around the world. For more information, please visit TRE.radio.
Discuss, challenge, inform, comment, Viewpoint on Talk Radio Europe.
Giles Brown.
Live comment and discussion with studio guests. Viewpoint.
It is Tuesday, the 7th of July. You're listening to Viewpoint Talk Radio Europe's current affairs program with a panel of invited guests where we're discussing the issues of the day. On today's show, so many things to peruse, to look at. We get everything from the forthcoming NATO conference, your ideas on what's happening there. We might touch a little bit on the FIFA scandal, should you so wish. If there's anything, and gifts to Nigel Farage, if you want to talk about that as well. If you wish to get involved with this morning's show, then these are the numbers.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
So, a quick look at the papers in the UK this morning. Many of them lead on the surprising announcement that Donald Trump admitted that he confirmed that he asked FIFA to review this red card shown to US forward Florine Balogun at the World Cup. The Guardian says the intervention sparked anger before the match with Belgium. A foul reads the Daily Mirror's headline. Daily Mail opts for bend it like Trump. The Daily Star adds a speech bubble to a picture of the US president waving a red card. I've played my Trump card is the caption. Daily Express focuses on the Duke of Sussex's new row with Buckingham Palace after he was told he couldn't stay there during his visit to the UK. The paper says his arrival follows a chaotic war of words between the Duke's spokesperson and royal aides. King snaps at Harry is the Sun main headline, while the Daily Telegraph says King Giles III has put his foot down to block the prince's stay. More than 100,000 people with ADHD are being paid disability benefits without any requirement to look for work. That's according to the Times. Financial Times leads on an interview with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who says the battle in the sky will decide the course of the war with Russia. Zelensky told the paper his army had succeeded on the battlefield and at sea, leaving airspace as the defining theatre. What has been described as a game-changing test for endometriosis has been approved for use by the NHS, according to a report on The Guardian. It says the test can dramatically speed up diagnosis of the condition, which affects 1 in 10 women, from up to a decade down to 45 minutes. So those headlines from the top today. And finally, the Times says Wimbledon fans have been rubbed up the wrong way as stars pilfer the tournament's prize towels, which cost £40. Its report says on average, more than 450 are taken home by players every day as souvenirs, leaving some spectators irked that they're not passed on to them. Tush. So from the top today, the Daily Mirror, foul World Cup storm. Daily Star, you're off, Don. The Eye, global outcry as Trump forces FIFA to change football World Cup rules to help the USA. That ended well. Trump admits asking FIFA to review red card for USA. That is The Guardian. Bend it like Trump, fury over red card foul play is the Daily Mail. The Daily Telegraph, King puts foot down to block Harry's stay. Daily Express, Harry turned away from Palace. King snaps at Harry is the Sun. No need to seek work for 100,000 with ADHD is the Times. The Financial Times, battle in the sky will decide course of Ukraine war. Zelensky warns Putin. And those are your headlines on this Tuesday, the 7th of July.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
And joined in the studio by my A team, which is on my left, Aria Babapule. Good morning to you, Aria.
A very good morning to you again, Giles, and everybody out there.
And Andres Gallardo. Good morning, Andres.
Good morning, Giles. Good morning to all.
And joining us, our man on the old Father Thames, Rex Leyland. Rex, are you receiving me, Rex?
I'm receiving you, Giles. Good morning, and good morning, Spain.
I was hoping...
Lovely to hear your dulcet tones once again.
And yours indeed as well. Because when you said I'd love to come on, I briefly, my little heart fluttered as I thought you might actually be in this here country yourself. But when any plans to come over during the summer season, my friend?
No plans. I think really... When we were last there, it was just beginning to sort of overflow and the roads were quite blocked and everything. But the one thing I've noticed about the Costa is that there are no more seasons, because you used to have seasons. I mean, going down there for 50-odd years, there was the winter season and then the summer season. But now there's no, slack. It's constant, fortunately, for everybody living there. It is non-stop on the Costa.
There is no slack. You put it that well. And I don't know if you saw this report, Rex, and the panel as well, but they are forecasting 100 million tourists this year in Spain.
I think it's going to be more than clogged. More than rammed.
Right.
It's going to be rammed.
It's going to be rammed. Thank you very much indeed. Right then, panel, anything crossing your... should we get the football out of the way first of all? Because I know that a lot of you... And Rex, I don't know about your thoughts on the football, but anyway, here we go. Go on, Ali. I know we can't... Yeah, I know we can't. I know that Ali obviously is a rabid Fulham supporter. Can't keep her off the terraces.
You can't keep me off the terraces.
Honestly,
for various
most
reasons.
people would throw, I don't know, whatever on the pitch. You throw cushions. It's a bit of interior design there.
Good morning, Rex over there. Hope you're fine.
Good morning,
regarding the FIFA thing, of course, it was a disgusting foul from Balogun. You could see it. I don't know very much about football.
Don't you?
No, I like to watch the final, but I don't really watch many of the matches being played. But what Balogun did was a foul. It was blatantly obvious to everybody, and of course, Odious Orange has to put his fat foot down on everybody's neck and overthrow a decision which was completely correct. I am delighted that in one way the USA have been kicked out, because it would have been cheating to let them carry on. However, the team I feel sorry for also because of one person's wrongdoing, they've all been tarred by the same brush. And thank you very much, Belgium.
Yes, indeed. The sons of LQ Pano strike again.
There we go.
Rex, from your stand, I mean, if you were to potter down in your boat for a couple of miles, you'd actually be outside Craven Cottage, wouldn't you? I'm just thinking about that, talking about Flam, but there you go.
Absolutely. Well, we've got Brentford here. We can virtually, touch the stadium. We're very close to the new stadium. But I'm not a great football fan. I do like watching the World Cup. I find I get terribly nervous and pent up when I watch England play, because obviously I want them to win. So, like the other day, I tuned into the last 5 minutes and it was very enjoyable. But I turned my phone on earlier this morning, and one of the messages had come up that 70% of Americans want Trump impeached.
And it's building.
And yes, and there are various round robins, pleading that somebody must get rid of Trump. What is a politician doing, interfering with an international tournament? It beggars belief. I cannot believe it. I could not believe it. That's perhaps that's what I want to. That's what I want to share.
Andres,
yeah, let me just put a spin on this, because everyone is blaming Trump for this red card situation, and I think the one to blame is the president of FIFA, because he's the one who takes the decision. Trump can say whatever he wants to say, but the one who buckled down and said, okay, I'll take off the red card, was the president of FIFA, and that is the one that we should be be aiming our anger towards, not Trump.
Yeah.
Trump is doing his thing, protecting his team or whatever, but someone has to turn around to Trump and say, look, I'm sorry, the rules say the guy is off and he cannot play the next game. Go away. But he didn't. He said, okay, I will, sort of reverse the red card so the guy can play and everything. So I think the one to blame here is the president of FIFA, who is a disgrace anyway, like they all have been. And we should, vent our anger towards him, if anyone, because I think he's a guilty one.
Did you see that even Sepp Blatter made a comment about this? And now there's a man who obviously no sense of irony whatsoever, going, I think we've crossed the line here. This Sepp Blatter, Rex. I mean, I think
Infantino went way over. I mean, the whole of the handling. Look what happened with Iran. Those poor people, the footballers were sent over to Mexico, even a 5-hour flight to go over to stay there because they were not allowed in Tijuana, and they were not even allowed to stay in the country, in the US, to recuperate. That they went as far as they did with all of that on them is hats off to the Iranians. Andres made a very good point with Infantino, who's a complete troglodyte.
Infantino, nothing to do with Florentino.
No. No.
Troglodytes? I like that.
We've gone from porridge for the moment. And he's look at him presenting to Trump that awful pseudo medal cup thing which he did. I mean, talk about crawling up spaces where he shouldn't be crawling. There you have the best example of it all. I'm not doing a hacker today, Giles, don't worry. So much, and I'm saying all of this, and I say I don't know much about football. It seems I do.
I mean, if you look at FIFA and the way it's behaved, and I think you can honestly compare FIFA with the Olympic committee of the International Olympic organisers. I mean, imagine if they behaved like that, like FIFA.
They used to. The whole thing about when Salt Lake City got the games, years and years ago, there were sort of ladies of negotiable virtue being thrown into hotel suites. People were getting Rolex watches. I mean, all of these organisations. I mean, doesn't it seem that it seems to be the sporting? I mean, we complain about the corruption in politics quite frequently over here in Spain and where else. But I mean, these sporting committees, because with the exception of Lord Coe, you very rarely get anybody.
I was going to say that's the beacon.
Exactly. But otherwise, they're sort of full of and we talk about people who go into politics and they never do anything outside. But you get these, and again, EU faceless bureaucrats. Well, you only have to look at the sporting world and the whole administration of any. I mean, even the International Tiddlywinks Association, no doubt, has got some faceless apparatchik who's never actually played the noble game, but is swanning around. I mean, Infantino is perhaps the most high-profile idiot that's out there, demanding motorcades, etc., that he wanted to get through Toronto, I think it was, or something like that, and being told to go forth and prosper. But they all seem to be, running around, thinking they are the proverbial, how do you say the bee's knees? The something of the abieja or something like that in Spanish. But you know what I'm saying here? It seems to the incontinent as well, and verbally like myself, but also, the complete ego trip of these little minions who've got pound go to their head. Rex.
Self-inflation.
Jeez.
That's what it is. They're building themselves up into something that they don't deserve to be, and they're intoxicated with their own position or their own status, and they're just trying to grab more and more from it. We're looking at these people that should be totally impartial, totally reserved in their manner, and impeccably behaved. But I'm afraid it's not forthcoming at the moment. Sorry to say.
Indeed.
Unfortunately, the 2028 Olympics are going to be held in Los Angeles. Okay, California is a little bit different.
Oh, no, not
Yes. Yes, 2028.
Rex is not happy.
I'm starting on the pills now.
Well, I mean, California is a sort of a state unto itself, which is it's the fourth highest earning area in the world. Yeah. So through Newsom's policies, if you like it or not, he brought the whole of the state of California to where it is now. However, I'm thinking of all the athletes who have to come into the USA again. Yeah. What nonsense is going to be held, because they can't just fly straight over to Los Angeles. They've got to fly somewhere and then over. And if you've had this absolute mess, I was going to say something else.
You were, weren't you?
I was, about the Iranians and the whole of the football kerfuffle. What is going to happen when you've got all these hundreds and hundreds of athletes, plus all of their managers, the masseurs, the fitness people, etc., descending once again into the USA? Terrible, terrible mess is going to happen. I really don't like it, and I'm absolutely a huge Olympic fan and follow everything. So I'm very worried.
Oh dear.
And yes, go on, Rex.
No, go on. You see.
Well, I was just going to say, we have been down this path before with idiot administration of sport. We only have to look at the Spanish women's team, of course, and was it Rubiales?
There was. I mean, the thing with football, especially football, is that the corruption cases in football are constant. They are constant. I mean, if you look at FIFA with the Qatar World Cup and the bribery that happened there and tried to hide it and everything else, you've got the situation we have now with reversing a red card just because the president asks. You've got the corruption cases in Spain with the president there. You've had the corruption cases in when they buy and sell players and who gets commissions for this and that. My good old friend TRE, bless his soul, got involved in that kind of shadow over his actions over the buying and selling players. He was acquitted, by the way, in the end, so that was all good. But the amount of darkness around football and corruption around football, it's been going on for a long time, and I guess it will continue to be so, because it moves so much money and so much money around the world with different cultures and different attitudes towards it, and everybody wants a piece of that cake, that opens up the doors to corruption, I'm afraid. So I think that's the way of the world.
Looking at some of the WhatsApps coming in, good morning, Giles. Have a lively morning, and bravo, Belgium. I enjoyed the nail-biting match between Portugal and Spain. What a beautiful finish. And now for the sacking of Gianni. Toot sweet. Meanwhile, Tommy's come in saying, oh, how nice to hear Rex again. I'm a big fan. So there you go, Rex. There's your fan club for you, sir.
Who is that?
That's Villa Tommy. I think
right.
It's either a Villa called Tommy or he's an Aston Villa fan. I think it might be the latter.
Well, thank you, Tommy.
We're also fans of Rex here, anyway.
Yes. group up. Just quick, listen, because I mean, this has had so much traction. Woke Finder General. That's right, indeed. This had so much traction. But I want to get because I mean, obviously, Dave's been talking about this. Hannah's been. We've all been talking about this particular thing. What I found really interesting, I mean, there was a big swell in the UK on Sunday evening, or on the match the lead up to the match. People saying, "Oh well, the pubs are going to be open till 5 a.m, and bosses can give their workers the day off." And I just thought, hang on a second, I mean, if I was a hard-working restaurateur, or I had a coffee bar in the morning or something open, a breakfast bar, I would kind of think that my staff should not get the day off, because I mean, otherwise we're going to have it's the netball championships and my team are in the league and I want the day. I mean, it's like, come on, we didn't, where's the Bulldog spirit? That's what I say, Rex.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because it seems that everything stops for football. Now, when England won the Rugby World Cup, there the same, you've got to cast your mind back. Why is it that everything has to stop for football? And it was a right mess when they started saying, the match is going to start at one time, then the match is going to start at another time, and so on and so on. And the other thing, that the government rushed through Parliament an act, it's a bill, becomes an act, saying that pubs could stay open all night. Well, you can make it up, and I think really it's quite farcical. And as a resting restaurateur,
yes,
I would, you'd have to just make sure you've got enough staff and do it in shifts. And if you're running a pub, you do it in shifts. And basically, what you would do is the owner or the publican or the proprietor steps in and covers their shift while the staff get some sleep.
Yeah, but we go on about the antisocial behaviour thing. I mean, why do you have to watch football? I mean, I know it's a good boost, I suppose, to the hospitality industry, but I'm just thinking of it's not like it's like when Tony Blair allowed people to the pub change the pub opening hours or the licensing hours with the thought that we're going to suddenly all this sort of Parisian cafe culture with people would spring up in the UK with people having a little vin rouge or a little blush. On the side of the road, on a pavement, whilst reciting Jean-Paul Sartre at each other, and what in fact we got was Wetherspoons staying open till whatever, and the chaos in city centres at checking out time.
Well, I read something literally just before we came on air, one of my commercial round robins restaurant things, and it said disturbingly that 3 in 10 establishments are likely to be closing down in the coming weeks, months.
Right.
And I'm going to say something else now, which has upset me. I'm going to leave football.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to politics.
Right.
Because I feel I have to say something about it.
We're going to have a Rex rant, are we? Hang on, it's soundbite.
We're having the rant is about to
go.
The
Woke Finder General is about to go off, ladies and gentlemen. Those of a nervous disposition, stand back. Off you go, Rex. You have the floor.
I know it doesn't sound as if I've been to school or have been educated, but I actually did go to a school. And in fact, I went fortunately, to one of the older schools in the United Kingdom, founded in 1274. And last week it closed down.
Oh, okay.
And I attribute that to the government.
Okay. How so, Rex? What is the name of the fine establishment? And
the name of the school was Ruthin School. Ruthin, spelt Ruthin, is the county town of Denbighshire in North Wales, and the school was founded in the 11th century in the cloisters of the church,
right? And
refounded in 1574, but. This school, along with many, 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 many other schools, have closed down due to the ghastly politics of this ghastly government that are destroying our country, destroying the microfibers of our country. I mean, it's just shocking what's going on. And none of them have been in work. None of them have ever had a job. And as for what's his name, Barnum?
Burnham, not Barnum. It's not P.T. Barnum.
Barnum. He's going to run a goddamn circus, for God's sake.
That's very good.
I mean, we've got nothing to look forward to. I mean, it's just closure after closure. It's so sad, and one is powerless. How can I rescue my old school? Not that I should or ought to, but would like to contribute something. But it's too late. It's gone. It's gone.
Rex, can I ask you a couple of questions about this school? Was this a private school or a state school?
Yes, it was a private.
And what was the main reason for the closure?
Looking at because I've just been doing some quick research, and what a beautiful school, Rex. I mean, absolutely. I went. Yeah, I mean that's an absolutely gorgeous place. But it's a Chinese company, and it's,
that's the problem. I was coming to that.
Okay.
Because that Chinese company own several schools, and they've all gone belly up.
Yeah.
Not just my school. I'm just looking at the...
Durham High School's gone as well, which is, another... I mean, that's another beautiful...
Yeah.
But these are beautiful buildings, and you might think that this is a Chinese company, Chinese Global Education, and that they're being accused of asset stripping. I suppose if you've got a beautiful... And there's an awful lot of land when you have playing fields, as
It's more like a real estate deal than an education deal, doesn't it?
And they should never have been allowed to have bought it's obviously all too late, and looking back, and it's easy to criticise and comment, but if you take our concerns of China today, in hindsight, it should never have been allowed. They should not have been allowed into the UK buying up schools. It should have been prevented, but it's too late now. I'm just looking, 1284.
1284. Indeed. Right.
I think there's only one other school older, is St. Peter's, York.
Right, okay. Well,
where Master Mikey Corrie Reed went to school.
Oh, really? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, mine was founded in 1674, and I was the only pupil.
Really?
Yeah, and I was the only pupil to have had to get a lower grade in his retake in his maths than in his first one. So that just shows you how well they did. Yeah, once you got a school song once you have a school song in Latin, Rex, you never look back. That's what I say.
Well, our motto was Dei gratia sum quod sum. By the grace of God, I am what I am.
Ah, that sounds like a Gloria Gaynor track. Well, we're going to go...
Don't say plonker. Don't say plonker.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick break and then back with more educational musings after this.
Viewpoint with Giles Brown.
Always lively. We're joined in the studio by Alia Babapole, Andres Gallardo, and our esteemed colleague on the Thames, Rex Leyland. 952-78-4000 is the phone number. studio@tre.radio is the email. Facebook page, Talk Radio Europe Official. I've got a poll up on the Facebook page, which is, of course, Talk Radio Europe Official, asking, has the World Cup been tainted by President Trump's intervention? At the moment, all of you are saying, yes, it has been. I've got three options. Yes, no, or US has been knocked out, so that is instant karma. So if you want to get involved with, please feel free to get involved. Send me a message, etc., by the normal ways.
Giles, did you say my esteemed colleague Rex, or did you say my steamed?
No, my esteemed, not steamed. It might be a trifle warm on the Thames, but we're not steaming him. He's not.
Yeah, it is. I tell you what, it's steaming again this week. We're heat waving this week, but fortunately, we're not going to have the humidity that we had the previous one.
Right.
I mean, I'm out on deck now. It's beautiful. It's what it is. It's 24 with a lovely breeze.
Yeah, indeed. So we're not
24, lovely breeze. And today's going to be 31 or 32. What's it with you?
It's about the same.
It's about the same.
32.
Yeah, but we're not Dim Sum Leyland, so there you go. Nicely.
Dim Sum?
Dim Sum, yes. Dim Sum.
Steamed.
Oh, chicken chow mein, you mean?
Chicken chow, yeah. All right, fair enough. Anyway, no, just a quick thing, because I mean, I know it was everybody's winding down for the summer, because gosh, you blink and the next thing you know, we'll be celebrating Halloween. But time goes quickly when you're...
Oh, don't say that.
All right, fair enough. I won't then. But what I'm saying with this one is the fact that we've, and I mentioned Halloween, but can you argue, Rex? You know how people were saying that Rishi Sunak was a zombie president, a zombie prime minister, and we were sort of sleepwalking up until the next election. We seem to be, call me, cover me in, butterscotch and call me a horseradish, but we seem to be back in the same situation, because, Rishi Sunak was a prime minister of a zombie government, and towards the end, Boris Johnson had, as they all left like so many ratones off a ship, and here we are now, and we're in this sort of phony war situation where everybody knows what's going to happen. As you said, P.T. Barnum's about to take over, and yet here we are. We've got big conferences coming up. I mean, and we're talking NATO, but I mean, Sir Keir Starmer could just throw in the literal hand grenade now and do damage to Burnham because he could really muck up if he was feeling malevolent and malicious and say, right, well, I'm going to leave you with a mess. The defence spending review seems to have left him with a mess just to begin with. And do you think that we should be doing these things sooner rather than later? Get the heir, the prince in waiting or whatever, the prime minister in waiting in the government too sweet, because at the moment we seem to be in this sort of lackadaisical limbo. Rex.
Historically, we have had more prime ministers ever, I think, since records began. I think there was some at the turn of the century, there was a few changes, but nothing like this. And until, I suppose, the law, or, well, I suppose, I don't know if you could say the law, changes that we demand a general election on the change of a prime minister, regardless of the party. At the moment, it's the parties that make their own rules. And so the Conservatives can't rightly point a finger at Labour and say, P.G. Barnum is going in, or is crowned before he's elected. There was some talk of that forces minister, the ex-military chap, making a bid. Yeah. I don't know if he's died off, but sort of withdrawn. But it's very annoying how this is all being staged, and it's sad because, as you rightly said, it happened with Boris, it happened with Rishi Sunak, and several more. So our politics are certainly chaotic, a little more than a little crazy, and I think until the rules change, I mean, do you think we should have an election when the Prime Minister changes? Did you vote for that person, or did you vote for the party? And so on and so on. And there was, we could end up in a worse position under, the circus man than with Starmer. But for me, I'm not holding my breath on anything, and I don't believe that any of us will benefit with this particular change. I think the damage is done.
I made a couple of notes. Burnham walked away from those who voted for him in the general mayoral election. Then he persuaded a sitting Labour MP in Makersfield to stand aside to satiate his own ego, with the ultimate goal of becoming PM. And all of this was plotting the removal of Sir Keir, a PM who has successfully, whether you want it or not, re-established the UK on the world stage, and also reversing 14 years of destruction by the Tories and laying out a groundwork for further prosperity. One thing to me stands out about Burnham: he's not at all trustworthy. And you can't believe anything he says, because the policies he's putting forward now are already being done.
It's to the lines we go. Morning, caller. You're live on TRE. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your viewpoint, please?
Yeah, hi, Giles. It's John in Meehouse.
Hi, John.
I don't know, Rex there. When you say that vote because you've got to change your
You've gone very faint on us, John.
I'll call you back.
All right, thank you very much indeed. 952-78-4000. Alia, sorry.
That's all right.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We had a call coming in there, Rex, but we seem to have lost it, or it was very...
Yeah. There was something else I was just going to say. The fact that Starmer feels that he has to leave or step down, it beggars belief how his own people have sort of virtually destroyed him.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's survival, Rex. Their own people want to survive, and they could see they could see themselves going down with Starmer, and they thought that they need to do something, and a change of leader could change their future, and that's why all the MPs supported that kind of move. But it's a selfish move from the MPs. And the problem is, and as you said, Rex, is that the rules allows for that to happen. the rules shouldn't allow for something like that to happen, because you should stick to what people have voted for.
Exactly.
That's the contract that you have with the people, and that's why they vote for you. It's the reason why you're there. So if you break that contract, you shouldn't be able to do that. But as the rules are at the moment, they can do it, and they've they've done it, just about to do it.
Right then, to the lines we go. We'll try this again. Morning call, you're live on TRE.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Giles. My hearing aid again. Just on the point about when there's a new Prime Minister, because we don't actually vote for a Prime Minister, why should we vote for a Prime Minister when they change it?
Okay, yeah.
To me, it doesn't make sense. If you're voting for the President of America and something happens, then you get another one, you re-vote. But if you're not, because the system in England is such that the party chooses the Prime Minister, it's got effectively nothing to do with the electorate. Although in this case, I must admit that choosing somebody to stand in an election solely to become Prime Minister is sort of a different kettle of fish.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for the call in there. Yes. Did you get any of that? Sorry, could you hear that? Sorry, just checking.
Yes, I got all of that.
Right, thank you.
And he's absolutely correct. He has made a major point. However, as just an extension to the rant, as you know, the famous saying, the socialist saying, "Don't do as I do, do as I say." Did you know that Mrs. Burnham is an extremely wealthy, successful millionairess?
I wasn't aware of that.
Yes, you read it. Have a look now. Not a lot of people realise that she is a very, very, very successful. And she appeared on Blind Date, or he appeared on Blind. Have you not seen all this?
No, I must admit, when I go through my copy of Hansard every morning, I don't go to the subsection that says spouses of sitting members who have appeared on mass entertainment shows.
The whole thing will come out.
That's that's not Elon Musk and an evil bot.
Blind Date, and she there was I can't remember the exact fact because I'm getting old and everything. But if you read all about it, you'll see that it all started on Blind Date with our lovely Sua, and it went on, and she then they reconnected. She became highly successful. So
Rex, that's not necessarily a bad thing, is it?
No, but it's pot and kettle and black, and don't do as I do, do as I say.
Her name is Marie-France van Giel.
What's her name, sorry?
Marie-France van Giel.
Blimey,
that's her name.
That's like a Eurosceptic's worst nightmare, isn't it? A name like that. She's Dutch-born.
Yeah,
marketing.
it's the central defender for
Standard Liège. Yeah.
That's on the Blind Date.
That's on the Blind Date.
That's right, 1992.
No. Well, there you go. You see, you learn something new every day. I'm not sure it's entirely useful, but there you go.
I think I remember the episode.
Do you? Right, I'm moving swiftly on for this because I'm going to take a quick break. We'll go a 2-minute break, and then we're back and we'll into the last. We will be into the last 11 minutes of the first half of this morning's Viewpoint.
Viewpoint with Giles Brown.
Giles Brown, live from the studios of TRE Talk Radio, your voice in Spain. Just sorting out a few transport issues, that's all. No, I have yes. The car carnage continues. That's why Rex is on a boat. You'd never get in a car with me, would you, Rex? Let's put it mildly.
Would I get in a car with you?
Exactly. Therefore,
good God, I wouldn't know. I'm terribly frightened in case you didn't know which was the gear lever.
Well, no, I know where the gear lever is. It's just that when I pull it, it tends to come off in my hand. And the shower
It's rather like...
You missed that, Giles.
The skit.
You missed that, don't worry.
Yeah. The skit with Eric Morecambe and Ernie Wise and Andre Previn. I'm playing all the right notes, not necessarily in the right order.
Well, listen,
exactly. What?
It's Giles and his gearbox.
I just got a message from my garage saying we haven't heard from you in a while. Is everything okay? That's why I was looking at the phone then. That was so. Yes, we are aware of this. Thank you. I shall be speaking to my garage after the break. Anyway, where were we, panel? What were we discussing just before? So that completely threw me on that one. What I'm going to do though, however, is
we were just talking about Blind Date. That's what we were talking about.
Right.
Yeah, we're talking about Blind Date.
Anyway, But that's interesting. It's actually a very interesting fact.
Right, here we go.
It adds a little colour to everything.
Here we go. So some of the WhatsApps coming in. I totally agree with your guests, but the bringing down of Starmer was also led by the media in the UK. Also, as a Labour Party member, we should get an opportunity to vote, and it would if someone else came forward to stand against him. That's from Ruth. So that's a reasonable point.
Mm-hmm.
Also, totally. That's Ruth in School is owned by Galaxy Global Education. They brand themselves a Chinese education company known for asset stripping. They completed the purchase of 4 schools between April 2023 and March 2025. Ruth in School, of course, Durham High School, Malvern St James, and Plymouth College. Negotiations for all purchases began long before the current government got into power. True. So what's wrong with having money and wanting to stand up for those less fortunate, Rex, about Mrs. Burnham? Fair enough. And I'm just saying there was another one coming in at the moment. Morning, peeps. All this mess. Brexit caused all this thanks to Cameron. That's from Peter. So therefore, that's a quick roundup of what people are saying at the moment. Go looking at my poll thus far, and I'm asking the question on the those their socials on our social media page, which is Talk Radio Europe Official. I'm looking at what our poll is saying, and I'm asking the question. You can get involved by going on that, and I'm saying. Do you think the World Cup has been tainted by President Trump's intervention? 85% say yes, 1% say no, and 14% say the US has been knocked out. So that's instant karma for you. So there you go. If you want to get involved with that one, or indeed anything else to go across your viewpoint, these are the numbers.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
Got 8 minutes this morning, the first half of this morning. And going back to Pamplona, spectacular but controversial it's been described as, the running of the bulls. Spain, the first run was taking place, I think, this morning, or was it yesterday, Andrew?
7th. Was
today.
7th?
That's today.
7th, then it's today.
So the first run took place this morning.
8 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Every morning for 7 days.
Chasing mainly young runners to the narrow streets until they arrive at the Plaza de Toros bullfight arena. However, it's not without fresh protests from animal rights activists who've long opposed the bull ring, citing animal cruelty. So we have a clash of protesters here. What are you protesting against? Pick a majority. But I mean, this is always going to be. Have you ever run the bulls, Rex?
No, thank you.
Okay. It's yes. Go on, Workfinder General. Tell me.
I mean, you've got to be very courageous to do that, haven't you? Really?
Or slightly stupid, I think.
Yeah. But it's tradition, and Spain has many wonderful traditions, and that's one of them.
I mean, yes, on a theoretical basis, Rex, I mean, could you not, you are quite happy with running off the bulls because of tradition. I mean, not that you wanted to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Bit like Morris dancing. I've got nothing against it personally. Sorry?
It's like bullfighting. I mean, I don't particularly agree with it. It's the same here with the hunting. And, is it right to... I don't like killing any animal, whether it be an insect or a shooting birds or anything like that. I don't like it, but I'm not going to prevent others from doing what they want to do. And if it's tradition, it's tradition, and as long as they don't hurt other people.
I don't think you've ever slept with a mosquito in your room.
I was about to say mosquitoes there. I was thinking,
I will kill a mozzie. I will kill a mozzie.
Yeah, exactly.
I will kill a mozzie. Yeah.
I think if we could kill. Yes, go on. Sorry.
I was having lunch on deck yesterday, and there were some ants, so I had to kill those because otherwise they'd eat my food.
Well, exactly. Don't kill them.
Ants. So we've got flying ants at the moment. They come 2 days a year.
Yes. No.
They were here last week. They've gone now.
Nothing worse than a flying ant in your hoodie. That's all I can say.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, but I think that if you want to run the bulls, then you run with the bulls. But what about bullfighting? It's still going on in Spain, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
very much so.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole problem. And I don't want to talk about Marbella in particular, but I'll talk about Marbella in particular because when they refurbished the bull ring in Marbella, I mean, they refurbished the bull ring in Puerto Banús, so the one that you and I both know very well, Rex, having been at the various types of concerts, or whatever there, and that's now a concert venue. I mean, there's no way you can have a bullfight. There is no. I mean, I've been backstage there. They've repurposed all the thing. It's an absolutely great concert venue. Showers and everything, even for the crew when that first. But the bull ring in Marbella and the bull ring in Estepona have been refurbished, and there was a big outcry when the bull ring in Marbella was refurbished because they put down this special kind of arena, this sort of covering, like sand, whatever you want to call it.
I just remembered, Giles, that I saw Joe Cocker at the bull ring.
So did I.
Everybody, Rex, that's if you're not a proper resident of Nueva Andalucía / Marbella unless you saw Joe Cocker either in the 80s or the 90s or the noughties.
Wonderful concert.
Yeah.
It was a great concert.
Yeah, and he came out alive.
He came out unlike the woman who ran on stage and she was taken out by security. She actually did end up in the bullfighting pen, but that's another story from Tales from the Backstage. Oh blimey, that was a concert and a half. But what I was saying is there was a big outcry because Marbella said we had protests. There'd been an anti-bullfighting march going through the centre of Marbella, and then they said, we're not going to use the bull ring for bullfights. We're going to use it for cultural events. And of course, one of those cultural events has been bullfights that have happened in Marbella and also in Estepona as well. It's a bit of a strange one though because of the image that Spain is trying to promote. Because bullfighting doesn't exist in Barcelona anymore, does it? There's the Catalans banned it years ago. Oh, you're going to say there's an underground bullfighting thing now, are you?
Yeah, no. In Catalonia, it was banned years ago, and I think the Canary Islands also banned it. But it's traditional in Spain, and it still happens in Spain in many places. It's quite interesting to look at it. It's quite interesting to look at the history of it because in the 50s and 60s, it was quite a glamorous thing to go to a bullfight.
Oh yeah,
and all the stars, Hollywood stars would go there. Even Eva Gardner had an affair with a bullfighter and everything. It was quite all very glamorous and very nice. And the mood and the attitude towards those events have changed over the years.
You would hardly get Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem sitting ringside of the bullfight these days, would you?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. I
don't know. I've never seen them in a bullfight, but I've never seen them say anything against bullfighting. I don't know what the position is there, but it's still happening. It happens in many parts of Spain. It happens in many parts of France as well. In South America,
what about the bull running? The bull running in the Camargue.
Well, the bull running. I mean, the big event, the World Cup of bull running, if you like, is Pamplona during this week, and that happens every year. But don't forget that happens in a lot of little towns with smaller bulls and different.
Jimena de Fronteras had a bull.
Well, every little village has got a running of vaquillas. There are smaller versions of these, brave bulls, but it happens. So it's quite traditional to go and run in front of bulls, and it happens all the time. More and more often now you get protests of people trying to protect the welfare of the animals. Fair enough. But these protests have been going on for a long time, and it hasn't stopped the industry. Because don't forget, this is a very big industry, because it's not only the bullfighters, but then you have...
I mean, Canal Sur has a program called Toros on the afternoon.
Yeah, they've got a lot of land dedicated to it, and, a lot of people live off that industry, and that continues to happen. I know there's a lot of people protesting, and there is... It's become a political thing. So if you're left wing, you're against the toros. If you're right wing, you sort of protect the tradition, which I think is ridiculous.
And if you're Vox, you want to bring back gladiatorial combats, presumably.
Possibly. So it's still there. And the running of the bulls in Pamplona is very, very popular. It's on TV every day live, and it's seen in many, many countries where they follow it closely. closely. And it's funny because it's an event that takes about 2 or 3 minutes, no more than that.
But the thing that always
it's 800 meters what they run, but it's fascinating to see it. And what amazes me is that people still go there because you know that on every race you're going to get at least 7 or 8 people who are injured, and some of them terribly injured.
There's always an American every year doing Europe, and he goes to Pamplona, and there's always an American who gets very badly injured, if not slain, trampled by a bullet.
Yeah, the odd Norwegian gets caught as well, huh?
Well,
bullfighting in Mexico has been heavily restricted.
Yeah? Right,
yes,
okay.
and it's also bloodless.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in Portugal they leap over the bulls. Right, we're going to the end. We're come to the end of the first half of Viewpoint. We'll be back with no bull in the second half of this show. Rex, go and have yourself a large rum, and we'll join you after the break.
Okay, bye.
Talk Radio Europe.
Your voice in Spain.
Discuss, challenge, inform, comment, Viewpoint on Talk Radio Europe.
Giles Brown. Live comment and discussion with studio guests.
Viewpoint.
And welcome back to the second half of this morning's Viewpoint, with you until 12 o'clock, and then we shimmy into the afternoon seamlessly with an hour of Let's Talk. If you wish to get involved with today's Viewpoint, if you've got something you want to go get off your proverbials, if you pardon the expression, it can be national, international or local, and these are the numbers.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
And those trying to justify current life in Iran should really watch the stark reality of this deplorable situation.
Stephen Ritson.
If we could press a button and somehow it becomes a, liberal Western-style democracy with a fair deal for the Iranian people as far as their natural resources are concerned, great.
Europe Today.
Iraq, Libya, a few examples where regime change was chaotic. Plenty of deaths and misery and suffering. And then when they weren't chaotic, it's left-leaning.
Europe Today, presented by Stephen Ritson.
Weekdays from midday. Say in Central and South America and so on. Replace it with fascists, literal fascists, with the Hugo Boss uniforms and everything. So that's the thing, be careful what you wish for, I suppose.
Careful what you wish for. Stephen Ritson, of course, will be with us live with Europe Today from 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock today. And, of course, he will then be followed by from 3 until 6 with Hannah Murray with TRE in the afternoon. Obviously, we await the return of Selena Kensley. Selena will be back in the first week of August. So looking forward to welcoming Selena back into the fold. In the fold, very firmly today are my guests in the studio, Ali Babapure and Andres Gaiano, and live from the Thames, Rex Leyland himself. If you want to get your thoughts across, here's the numbers.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000.
Jolly good.
Email studio@tre.radio.
Rex?
Send us a WhatsApp
Rex?
on +34 645
Are you there?
99 67
I can hear you,
95.
yeah.
Message
Rex?
us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe
Rexy
Official, or tweet us at
Rex?
TRE Talk Radio.
I just realised my mic was up then. Sorry about that.
Where are we going now?
I'm going downhill rapidly because I realised that my mic was up live and I was going, Rexy Boos, Rex. Are you there, Rex?
Yes,
there. No, so the whole that was a peek behind the curtain there because obviously I just letting the people know that it's a very sort of smooth operation there, and then I forget to put my microphone down so the whole of the audience could hear me. Anyway.
Oh dear.
I know I can hit you. I know Ritson. I know. Yes. Thank you, Stephen. God, it's like having the almighty, it's like having the omnipotent eye when you've got Stephen Ritson. Wait, he's limbering up. In the stalls, That's his speciality. Now, would you like me to pass on a message to Stephen Ritson from you, Rex, or should we just leave it at that at the moment?
Well, I always listen to the beginning of his show.
Yes.
Because he comments rather astutely about our show, and it starts him off and gives him fodder. To then continue.
As in kind of Canada.
Continue.
Yeah, indeed. And
embellishment.
And Gary has said, you sound like you've lost a dog, Rex. Yeah, all right, very well. Very good indeed. Very good, Pompey.
I could tell you a story about that.
Yes.
My neighbour, a new neighbour, moved in a couple of months ago, and she arrived with her mother.
Yes.
And she introduced me to her daughter.
Yes.
And to the dog.
Right.
And then she said, if my daughter shouts out in the middle of the night, Rex, come here, she's referring to her dog.
Oh.
And don't get any funny ideas.
You were halfway across the gangplank, the bottle of Veuve Clicquot, and Richard Clayton MP underneath your arm.
There is a TV show. There is a TV show called Would I Lie to You?
Yes.
And this is a point where we have to decide if Rex is telling a true story or is lying.
Yeah, John from Mihas. If you're listening, John from Mihas, would that have you ever come across that in your 20 years of the police force? Your Honour, I can explain myself.
Something. I've got another quick one as well.
Go on.
The other day, my wife went to TK Maxx or something to buy a couple of things, and she was downstairs ironing, and she said, "Would you lay out supper?" So I said, "Of course I will." So anyway, I saw these 2 packets on the counter, and I thought, "Ooh, nibbles! Nibbles before supper, they go very well with supper." So I opened up one of the bags, took out this thing, and it said chicken dried chicken wrapped in carrot. And I put it in my mouth. And then it was terrible. It didn't taste of anything. It was very hard. I nearly broke a tooth. Then my wife comes upstairs and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I just thought I'd try that before you came up."
Yeah.
She turned around and looked behind me. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm looking for a tail." I said, "What do you mean you're looking for a tail?" And she said, "That's dog food you're eating."
Yes.
I hadn't read the label. I hadn't read the label. I was eating dog food.
You're not going to live that one down with us.
No. When I moved, Rex, I've got a similar story. When I moved to Marbella, as a Calais youth of 17, direct from Stoke-on-Trent, you can imagine the passageway, the assimilation from Stoke-on-Trent from the Potteries to Puerto Banús was seamless. It was practically the same. Absolutely. And not a lot of Europeans in a grammar school in Stoke-on-Trent. So I was quite amazed by the variety of, because I went to the English International College and there were 32 different nationalities, and my neighbour went to the same school. So we had literally my first weekend, and I was 17, so I went out and there were girls and everything, and we were having a bit of a house party. And the Danish friend Casper said, "Listen, Giles, welcome to the house." The whole thing, guys, this is good fun and great to have you. And I'm trying to be all cool. He said, "Would you like a Danish biscuit?" I said, "I'd love some." Trying to be all, and I thought, well, I bet I've never had Danish biscuits before, and so I bit into it, and I was like, and it was hard as a bleeding, and I thought, well, I better not be rude, it's one of those, because of cultural appropriation and all that. And then I found them all laughing outrageously, and of course he'd fed me a dog biscuit, but I'd been ever so polite. I went to a good school, and I didn't want to complain. And Casper Opus had said had given me a Danish dog biscuit, which he found, and the evening wasn't so good because I spent the rest of the evening running after passing cars. But there you go. Anyway,
and barking off and wagging your tail.
Yeah, and actually, very few things have changed in the 40-something years since then.
I'm surprised you kept all your teeth after trying to get through that dog
exactly.
biscuit.
Well, there you go. I was younger then, you see. Anyway, let's move swiftly onwards from all canine cuisine that we could be looking at. You ever eaten a dog biscuit there, Andreas?
I've never tried it. No.
Catalan delicacy?
No.
No? Budgie food, anything like that? Birdseed? No. Well, having said that, pipas is awfully close to birdseed.
Well, I've got a story about pipas.
Aha, you see?
A friend of mine in Richmond, I think it was Richmond, they went to school, but in the summer they used to spend the summer in Cadiz. Yeah. And the cousins, Spanish cousins, they used to give him sunflower seeds called pipas here. And they used to eat pipas when he was there. And he had the idea to take those pipas to school, and all the kids in the school were eating the pipas and throwing the pipas on the floor like they do in Spain. And the headmaster announced on the speaker, said, "Oh, these these kids eating sunflower seeds, they have to become the mess that they leave behind. So that's pipas for you.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the very strange Spanish traditions of football match. You have to watch eat pipas at football matches.
You had to take, pipas for a football match, and if it was an evening kick-off, you would take a bocadillo de tortilla, so an omelette
sandwich,
baguette.
That's nice.
I have birds. My bird feet are fighting about the pipas. They go in a real old strop at times. They really do.
Right.
You see these things flying through the air, and then the birds after them. It's very entertaining.
I'm sure it's right there. Right there. Now back. Hello? Oh, that's okay. Meanwhile, back in the line... it's the lights just went out, but I think I know why. That's Hodgson. He's loose in the building somewhere. Just looking at... I've got my poll of polls running. Has the World Cup been tainted by President Trump's intervention? And we got 3... Yes, 77%. No, 1%. US has already been knocked out, so that is instant karma. That is on 22%. I'm talking about President Trump. We have a major international summit taking place, NATO. Now... It's taking place at Ankara with another strong man, of course, Erdogan of Turkey. And once again, President Trump seems to have really sort of thrown a curveball to Spain, his favourite prime minister of the entire European Union. I think we can agree on this one. Describing, he was saying how just to set the scene, like you do. He said that Spain was a terrible country, and he hearkened back to the defence budget, the lack of Spanish spending on defence budget, and he managed to in big marker pen, bring up 1898, the Philippines, the Dominican Republic, or was it Puerto Rico, and of course Cuba. Now, Andres, just explain how much of a kick to the proverbials that is if you're a Spaniard.
Well, stop press here. Stop press, because I'm going to say something that your audience are going to be surprised. I don't disagree with the policy of Pedro Sanchez on this one.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, I'll elaborate on this. Trump, it is clear that the United States contribute more towards NATO than other countries, Spain being one of the lower-ranked contributors in NATO, which I agree that perhaps it should be more equal. This is a no-brainer, that one. It's not, it doesn't seem fair that one country sort of carries the rest of them, providing a service that they're not paying for on general terms. However, from there to say you have to spend 5% of your GDP in defense, that is... I find that ridiculous. You don't go to your supermarket to do a weekly shop and say you have to spend 500 euros on your weekly shop. You will go there and spend what you need. It might be 200 euros, might be 600 euros, but you need to know what you're spending your money on. Just not, what is it that is needed for us to contribute enough, how much it costs, and what percentage of GDP that will be. You can't start from spending the money just for the sake of spending the money, to spend the money wisely, especially because we haven't got the money. There is a need for defense. I agree with that. But how much do we have to spend to be safe? And also, will that deter other countries, or will other countries see our increase in spending and say, we've got more money, we can spend more? So you are in a spiral of spending on defense just for the sake of spending. And as I said, we don't have the money. Many European countries don't have the money. The countries in Europe are generally broke, and having to spend in defense has to come from somewhere. If it has to come from our welfare system, our hospitals and our schools, and our infrastructures, which are suffering a lot at the moment, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry, but I won't agree with that. So it has to be a plan on what do we need and how much will that cost, and can we afford that? Not just a blanket drop to say 5% or you're out. That is a ridiculous proposition that I will not agree with that. And I'm glad that someone is putting his foot down to Trump to say, we're not going to do it. I don't know if that is the exact position of Pedro Sanchez. Pedro Sanchez has been against that, and in that particular case, I'm brave enough to say that I agree with him.
Oh, right then, Alia.
Spain, I've just looked things up. Spain directly contributes about 33.6 billion to its national defence as of the latest NATO figures, successfully meeting the Alliance's baseline target of 2% of gross domestic product. And I agree with what you're saying, Andres, completely. You can't just come down and lay down the line that you want everybody to follow and think that they're all just going to scramble on that particular train that he's come up with. No.
The concept of saying you have to spend this amount of money, that's what... That's wrong. No, who does that?
He's the only one who does it.
You have to price things, know how much they cost, and see if you can afford it, and then spend the money.
Well, of course.
You can't just say 5% of your GDP has to be spent on what? What do we buy?
Yeah.
Guns, tanks, drones.
Yeah.
What is it that we need? Just tell me what I need, and I'll see if I can afford it, and then I'll spend it. And it might be 2%, might be 3%, might be 5%, or even more. But before I do spend any money, I need to know what you want me to have.
Of course, you've got the USA up at the top, then you've got Germany and UK next, and then you've got everybody else. And some of the countries who are in NATO simply cannot afford to spend all of that because they don't have the budget for it. The countries are not big enough to contribute such a huge amount of money into that.
Rex, you're a man at the moment on the waves, and you must be looking with a proud naval tradition. You must be looking at the British Navy, thinking, "Good grief, what's going on here?" Because the Starmer's thing about saying, "Oh, we're going to replace warships with drones." Now, this is, you might argue this is a sad state of affairs for a once proud naval superpower, Rex.
Absolutely, it's if you think. Cast your mind back, we had the largest, after the US, largest navy probably in the world. Just to go back to the point about threshold, I think a compromise might be, with regard to NATO funding, that there should be perhaps, I say perhaps, a low minimum contribution which everybody has to do. Then after that, it's suck it and see. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
France joined NATO. They initially France were never in NATO. Is that correct?
You have me on that one.
Sorry, what did you say?
I'm looking now.
France was never in NATO.
I think it was one of the founder members, wasn't it? I might be wrong there.
No, they refused.
Ritson, help.
No.
Yeah, hang on.
No. It's one of the Alliance's 12 original founding members, having signed the Washington Treaty on April 4th, 1949. It is a full member of NATO.
So where did I get that from? There was because there was 20 or 30, there was a terrible row.
It temporarily withdrew, Rex, under President de Gaulle in 1966, but it never left the political alliance.
You see.
There you go.
As opposed to Spain didn't get involved until, what is it, 82?
84, 83, 84.
I remember when I came here first, there were lots of no OTAN, because obviously...
I remember the campaign of the Socialist Party saying no to OTAN, NATO, OTAN, NATO. And when they got to power, they changed their mind and then campaigned for the inclusion of Spain in NATO. And there was a referendum that it was won by, I don't know, it was 70 or 80%. So.
10th of May, 1982. And it joined the integrated military structure in 99.
The way that you just have to hand, Ali, is, I know your time in the tank regiment was never...
I just rolled over.
The other thing about NATO, another salient point about NATO, of course, is that Putin used NATO as an excuse to go into Ukraine.
Yeah, indeed.
Because I think Ukraine wanted... So in a way, it's gone against us, hasn't it?
Indeed. Going to the lines. Well, morning, caller. You're live on TRE. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your viewpoint, please?
Yeah, good morning, Giles. It's Gary here on a wonderful World Cup week.
Yes.
Good morning, panel. The ladies just beat me to it. France was in NATO, then they pulled out because of de Gaulle, etc. But I usually agree with Andreas, but surely that's unfair, Andreas. You pay your fair way. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Spain was refueling Russian submarines off of Melilla and Ceuta on the North African coast. That wasn't that long ago. But this isn't going to go down very well with anyone there.
Right.
But what Trump is doing, he's pandering to the American public and now the Europeans, because it's a European fault. We haven't been paying our way. We've relied on the Americans too much. And now, I mean, NATO is now stronger because of Trump. He's getting everyone to pay their way. So we've got to be stronger. Strategically, because of the comments he's making, Putin may think that we're breaking apart, etc. But it's still in America's interest for the Europeans to be strong. But it's about time. We've just leaned on the Americans far too much.
Okay, Gary, thank you for that point indeed, and very good point about Rex as well. So therefore, I'd like to hear that one. 952784000 is the phone number. Studio@TRE.radio is the email. Looking at some of the points coming up. I mean, Rutte, who is obviously the head of the Secretary General of NATO, he said it's time for them to set aside strife with Donald Trump amid his long-standing calls for European allies to shoulder a greater shared defence burden. One of the things they've said is the fact that Margaret has asked that they should bolster the bloc's defences through an industrial revolution, seeing tens of billions of dollars pumped into contracts and procurement deals set to protect against a growing range of security threats. So it's like if we start pumping money into the defence industry, we will reap the benefits because there will be more industry for people. You're looking at me with that look, and Ali's looking at me with that look.
Yeah,
that I haven't seen for a very long time.
I mean, I heard Rutte saying, it'll be good for industry, and they'll create jobs and everything else, but. This is an industry that spends money and it spends taxpayers' money. So it reminds me of that civil building scheme in Spain in 2007, to solve the unemployment was to just create more infrastructures and build more roads. That spent a lot of money and achieved nothing. And this is a little bit like that, said, let's create an industry, they'll create jobs. But that's so limited, and all the money spent is taxpayers' money. This is where my worries. I may be wrong, but this is where I start thinking. If you have a situation where you want to deter your enemies from attacking you, and you spend on money on defense, all very well and good. But if your enemy has got unlimited funds and they don't have to present any accounts to any parliament or no accountability whatsoever, which is the case of Putin. Putin's got unlimited resources. He's not accountable to anyone. He can spend as much as he likes on defense. He doesn't care whether the population suffers or not. He'll do whatever he wants. It's pushing us to spend even more. And this, we go into a race that takes us nowhere. And in the meantime, we will suffer, and we will, that's for sure, if we spend all the taxpayers' money on that, on the defense industry, and then we're stuck to be able to service what really matters to people. I don't want to get to that position. I don't want to be in this position to say we spend so much money on defense that we have to, sack all the doctors or sack all the teachers or leave the roads and the trains as they are.
You're talking about England now. You're talking about England. Very accurate description.
But this is happening all over Europe. I mean, to Spain, England. If you go to France, it's going to be the same. All these countries are broke, and we are pushed to spend on defense. push them. If you dedicate 5% and that's going to solve the problem, do you think, okay, well, maybe let's make an effort? But there's no guarantee that you spend all that kind of money is going to solve the problem, and we're going to be, protected forever. We could end up in a race that will make us poorer and will destroy our welfare system, which is the most precious thing that we have in Europe, especially in Europe.
Yeah. Going to the WhatsApps, Gary's come back in saying, remember that wars start by countries being weak, not by being strong. So that's Gary's thought on it. 952 78 4000 is the phone number. Quick break and then back with more Viewpoint.
Viewpoint with Giles Brown.
Always live, always lively. If you want to get in touch with the show.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
Right, one thing that sparked you all into life is the fact that I once ate a dog biscuit fed to me by a Danish friend by mistake. Well, when I was at university, somebody said, some drunken bright spark put cat food on top of pizza. Oh, that's not good. No. That's not good, Rex. There's the better one than this. This one I love. Paul says, welcome. Are you there, Rex, by the way? You're receiving me? Hello, Rex? Can you hear me? Oh, hang on. Rex, are you there? There you are. Rex. Oh, here we go again. We're back on... Fuck, there you are. Good boy. Good boy, Rex. Roll over.
Down.
Yes. Down, steady now. Don't stop saying that.
What's the other one?
The fight. So we had some basketball. However, welcome to the club. I once brushed my teeth with some odd-tasting toothpaste, which turned out to be hair removal cream.
Oh, God.
I had smooth gums, though.
Keep them going.
I've been known to squirt shaving foam by mistake instead of in the dark, and then with instead of a deodorant. I once squirted my armpits with shaving foam, and I also mistook. I made the fatal mistake of keeping the muesli by the Alpen by the cat food, and I only did that once in the darkness because you will only have milk and cat food once and once only in your life.
There was a man who sprayed. I thought this was very funny.
Go on.
He was, I don't know what it was, he was drunk or something.
Really?
He took some spray, which he thought was spray, and was spraying underneath his armpits, and it was hair lacquer.
Oh.
Extra strong.
Ouch. Oh. No.
Well, years ago,
yes.
A friend of mine, he was actually a very good friend of one of my late business partners, and he was, before he entered the catering industry, he was the CEO of Spiller's Pet Foods.
Okay.
Do you remember Spiller's?
Yeah, vaguely.
I think Win a Lot and stuff like that.
Yes.
And they used to have like a sales conference, and on several occasions he would stand in front of the audience and eat from the cat food tin or the dog food tin to show how perfect and how beautifully balanced it was.
Oh,
and that's what he used to do.
Right, okay. Don't try that at home, kids.
Is he still alive?
Faith in your product.
No, he's not. Yeah.
No, he's dead. He died a long time ago.
Right. Oops. Yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah.
Very bizarre.
Ran out
listen.
Yes, he ran out chasing a ball, that's the problem. Cross traffic.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, listen, if you had nothing else in the world and you were starving, you had a tin of dog food, you'd eat it. I can assure you.
All right, well, let's move swiftly on from this particular right, 952. Yes, I think so. We should do. Yes,
it's like a dog with a bone, isn't it? Really?
Yes, all right. Moving swiftly onwards.
Yeah, they're not getting through today. A bit slow there.
Yeah, all right, very well. Calm down, Rex. Now, good boy. Now then,
to your bed.
Well, right. So, meanwhile, looking at the. Let's get back just quickly too, because we've got 20 minutes left. I've got to get an ad break in as well. So, looking at the way that once again. NATO's going to have to handle Trump this time round once again. America's jilted ally, the playbook has been saying in Ankara seems to be familiar. It's basically keep all meetings brief, ramp up the pageantry, and avoid anything that might test Trump's patience. So because it was 250th anniversary of American independence, and he used his rallying cry on this one. Hello? You're right there?
Yep.
Okay. I heard a yelp.
I've got hay fever.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Just blow my nose.
I thought you'd seen a squirrel or something. So therefore, Trump used the 250th anniversary of the United States. I mean, it was struck by bad weather. You might say the Almighty's having a say there, but they had the State Fair. They had, and they had this quite remarkable speech where Trump was going on about communism. I thought this was a great sort of 60s throwback. He was obviously channeling Henry Kissinger. LJB domino theory. I mean, the threat of international communism, I thought, went out with sort of flares at the end of the Cold War. Alia, you're shaking your head and laughing. Is it because of flares, or is it just basically because of him? Just because of him. Okay, Andreas.
Yeah, but it's true to say NATO has got, and it's had now for a little while, a problem, because at the birth of NATO, the enemy was very clear, and it was sort of a block against communism, and the threat of communism expanding into Western Europe was a real threat, and it had to be so. Once the Berlin Wall came down and the Soviet Union collapsed and everything else, the threat somehow disbanded, and NATO found the sort of reason of being there, perhaps the international terrorism and that kind of thing. But the world has shifted so much that block of NATO perhaps doesn't make so much sense, not because of the Western European countries, but countries like Turkey, for instance, where the alliances may change or will change in the future, and they're not positioned so much on the side of Western European countries or even the United States. So there is a reshuffling and reorganizing the meaning of NATO and the purpose of NATO now. It has to be changed because it's not the same, and we cannot have the same concept of NATO as we had in the 1950s and 1960s. And that will be the difficulty to get all of these countries to agree to a common final sort of destiny, if you like, a common policy, yes, because the world has changed so much, and some countries will go one way and some other countries will go another way. So it's a difficult situation, and the fact that the coordinator of all these should be the United States, which are the main country of NATO, and in charge of the United States we've got Trump, doesn't make me believe that we will have a solution in the short term.
I mean, do you think that this constant belittling of his allies? I mean, Hesketh was on the other day saying, and he was saying that basically the allies, NATO had put American lives in danger because they didn't get involved in the Iran situation, the conflict there, and Trump's sort of constant belittling of the partners in NATO. I mean, he's been, it's kind of testing the limit. Do you think it's testing the limits of the European NATO? Of course it is, you say, Ali, yeah?
Of course it is. Did you see what Giorgia Meloni said to him at the last conference? She stood up and whacked her finger at him and then turned her back and walked out.
But she was begging for a picture with him.
Oh, yes, of course she was.
Yeah.
One could see it.
Yeah, body language. Women, Ali.
I think there's a couple of points here.
Yeah. Okay.
In that Trump never really conferred with any of the NATO members, and he just went in and didn't ask permission and left us all dangling, which I thought was disgraceful. But the other thing perhaps we should all be mindful of is that something might be happening because Mr. Putin moved his yacht out of Europe into Russian. Did you read that?
No, I didn't. I haven't been following Where's My Yacht.com. Oh, you did? Okay.
He's got a beautiful yacht, Putin, and it was escorted out of European waters by one wasn't one sort of quasi warship and another sort of accompanying vessel. And so if he's moved his beautiful, gorgeous yacht into Russian waters, is he sending out a secret message to us?
Or maybe he just wants to get his yacht out.
In other words, something might be happening, and he doesn't want to lose his yacht, does he?
No, well, those darned Ukrainians.
It was in the Telegraph. It was in the Telegraph on Saturday.
Maybe he's a bit worried about
pictures and everything. It's a beautiful vessel.
I'm sure it's a beautiful yacht, but that doesn't make him a nice. That doesn't make him a nice person, Rex.
No,
your yacht,
not at all.
You can have a Ferrari Dino and still be a complete, which is one of my favourite.
Yeah, but then I'm not necessarily a nice person because I live on a vessel.
But
there are exceptions to the rule. There are always exceptions to the rule.
I won't find a general. Is obviously.
Anyway, so that's just a thought about Putin. But certainly, I think that the world would be a better place without him. And I think also the Russians are beginning now to get a bit fed up with things. Generally, I think it's biting a bit. The war's biting. Things are happening financially that the Russians don't like, as they are in America, which the Americans don't like. When you start, when that fuel went up, everything's measured on the price of a gallon of petrol, or a KFC, or a Big Mac, or whatever it is. Things start to change, and I believe that behind all of this, you have Mr. Ping in China, rubbing his hands in glee because we're all in disarray, and he's waiting to pounce.
Okay, fair enough.
I've said that often.
On
China's
Taiwan.
just sitting. China's just sitting there quietly, doing nothing but watching everything.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's crazy to say that the experience of the war in Ukraine for Russia hasn't ended up being a good experience, because it's been very, very long, very, very costly, a lot of lives lost. The retaliation from the Ukrainians hitting strategic targets is damaging in Russia. There is shortage of fuel in some areas. The inflation is massive there, and I think that although people won't say it publicly, people are getting fed up with that situation, and I don't think Putin has got a strategy for a successful exit there, and he's just maintaining a war to save face. But I think the lack of success in Ukraine will deter him from taking that any further into Europe, and the fear of Poland and the Balkan states the Estonia and Latvia and so on. They're worried. I think that threat is just fizzled down. I hope I'm right.
You are.
Well, he was going. Sorry,
but he thought he was going to go in and out. He thought he was just going to go in and out. 5 minutes, shut the door, I'm gone. But it wasn't. It's 4.5 years.
Nearly 5
years.
5 years.
Yeah. So that's
and the failure that is found there, that he's only gets support in eastern Ukraine, but because western Ukraine is so committed towards a future in Europe away from Russia, and that clash there, that's what's going to cause him a problem, because even in the event that he was completely successful and could invade the whole of Ukraine, people in Ukraine now, especially in the western side, are not going to comply with that. They really want to be European there.
Yes, they do.
And he's got some support in the eastern side but the rest of the country is totally against Russia, and they want to be as successful as some of the neighbors like Poland is. Poland is a country that is unrecognizable in just a matter of a few years since they joined the European Union, and the Ukrainians are
successful country now.
Yeah, and the Ukrainians
Poland
would like to emulate success stories like Poland in their own country and forget about the misery that comes from Moscow.
And thank you to Paul, who sent me a rather splendid picture. I presume that's Putin's yacht in the centre there. Yes?
Yeah, it's the white one.
Being the grey one, you mean the one in the middle? Not
the grey one, yes.
This one.
Yeah. It doesn't look as big as I thought.
I know. I thought you did, but maybe that's hard.
It costs an awful lot of money.
It's hard to hit. You don't know what. You can only see that. Maybe it goes underwater as well.
I've seen bigger ones in balloons.
Yeah, well, of course, because we've had the yacht of the Walmart's daughter, the founder of Walmart's daughter has been here. I'm just thinking, what really worried me, Rex, is something you said that, because you talked about quasi-warships. Now, last time I looked, the former disgraced Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng of the UK didn't have a warship, but do you know something that we don't when you talk about quasi-warships? And on that,
Giles has a devious mind.
I know. On that note, it's the dog food, you know. On that note, we're going to a final break before we get into the last 9 minutes of Viewpoint. Stay there.
Viewpoint on Talk Radio Europe with Giles Brown.
Right then, into the last 7 and a bit minutes. Good grief! Right, quick look at the poll. My poll of polls. Talk Radio Europe official, of course. We're asking, has the World Cup been tainted by President Trump's intervention? 72% say yes. 28% now say the US has been knocked out, so that's instant karma. Mark, morning, Mark Poch, USA manager. In my opinion, not played the player. Okay, I presume that's a comment from Pochettino rather than well, I don't know. Anyway, Mark, if you can quantify that would be great. But at the moment, the poll seems to think that it's been tainted. The World Cup has been. I think now that they're out, this will be brushed under the proverbial sort of red carpet, as it were. Right. So we got 7 minutes, and I thought we'd keep the ginger grenade till the last moment, because Prince Harry is going to be doing a trip to the UK. He was going to come with his wife. He was going to come with the grandkids. There was talk about, because as Alan T let me know the other day, with Diana, Princess of Wales, would have been 65 years old last month, believe it or not. So apparently he's going to take the kids to visit the grave of their grandmother. And now there seems to be a somewhat of a storm, because Charles said Harry can't stay at Buckingham Palace. Why would you want to? But Ali, do you want to lead on this one about Harry? Have you got any thoughts? I mean, the Daily Mail must be absolutely, Piers Morgan must be in a lather, because he's the great unrequited love of his life. Is obviously he's denying it, but Meghan Markle, was obviously the one that got away or just didn't show any interest or whatever. So, your thoughts, Ali?
I find Harry completely irrelevant, quite frankly.
Okay.
He took himself out of the royal family and everything it entailed, and yet he still wants to have everything that he had before, and you can't. You left. You decided you're going to be on the other side across the pond. What have I said?
No, it's all right. Somebody just sent me in can I just stop here, because Mark Lamb has just sent me, I hope you're listening, Rex. Mark Lamb has just sent me a wonderful photograph of President Trump flanked by J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth and Mario Rubio, right? And he said Belgium is 2, maybe 3 months away from developing a nuclear weapon.
Well done. Well done.
Mark Lamb,
we needed that.
That is just genius.
Very funny.
That is just genius.
No, but
that's getting shared, Mark. That is just wonderful.
To go back to Harry, as I said, I find it completely irrelevant what they did to the late Queen. If you like the royal family or not, was despicable. She was a grandmother, always tried to support him and everything. I just found it totally childish, irrelevant behaviour of himself, and all he's done afterwards is nothing of value. I mean, the Invictus Games, all right, fine, very good idea, and I think that's a perfectly wonderful idea of supporting people who are somehow damaged by war or whatever. Wonderful idea. So, but apart from that, why does the British taxpayer have to pay for his security also? And the palace said he could go and stay, then he said he didn't want to go, and now they say they can't do it because of certain protocols and whatever going on behind that he couldn't accept him. So he always causes a fuss wherever this man goes. Just go away, go and live in America, do your own thing.
But
hold on.
Okay.
Rexy Rant coming in. Here we go.
Oops, what have I said?
3.5 minutes, Rex. Here we go.
He's here for the outcome of the court case.
Yes, I understand.
But I've just come up with a brilliant idea.
Come on.
If he's short of security, why doesn't he ask Farage to lend him a $5?
He can have the $5 million.
Give him a sub give him a sum of a £5 till Friday.
Till Friday.
And he can because he's got money for security, Farage.
Yes.
So he can always do that. I think that Harry has been. I think his sense of judgment has been weak. I'm an ardent monarchist. I am very much in favour of the royal family. I think it's a terrible shame that he's not there in a proper and formal way as he should be, that he's made these serious errors of judgment, and we are lacking. Had everything gone smoothly, it would have helped the royal family and the royal cause.
Indeed.
But all he's done is disrupted it.
Well, I mean,
it's such a shame.
Comment coming in.
It's such a shame.
Yeah, I just want to get a quick comment in from a listener saying Harry can't stay because they're redecorating the spare room at Buckingham Palace. Right, Andreas.
Yeah, in terms of the security, which was one of the issues, I think there was an assessment from the security services to say that there was no real threat to Harry coming into the UK, and I think on the basis of that, if it feels better to have security around him, he should bring his own. That's the way I see it. Why should the taxpayer be paying for a guy who's? I mean, you don't want anything to happen to him, exactly. God forbid.
Yes, he is.
But on the other hand, if there is no real threat, and it's been assessed by the security services that there's no threat, why spend money on that? And he feels more comfortable with security, you pay for your own. That would be my position. In terms of where he's staying or he's not staying, he was fuffing around whether he was going to go, then he wasn't going to go, and then he was going to bring the children, and then I'm not bringing the children, and all of that. You can understand that someone might get fed up and said, sling your hook and find a hotel. That being the king.
Yeah, I can see
not perhaps
the Windsor Travelodge, name of Markle.
But you can understand
is it the kids eat free all day buffet? I mean, come on, Harry, you can't have the child's,
we all do it.
You can't have the child's meal, Your Highness. You've got to be over the age of 12.
He is.
Right.
Well, I went last Friday. I went to Buckingham Palace. And I said to King Charles, I do hate name droppers.
Right, yes, indeed, yes.
But I did go to the palace for the exhibition of Her Late Majesty's wardrobe, which was absolutely fascinating in the King's Gallery, and would highly recommend it if you are a monarchist.
All right.
And the security there was quite high, quite high.
So if he comes anywhere,
you have to go through airline security. They don't hang around these people.
We have the perfect solution. Then Harry can come and we can provide security, but only if he wears one of his grandmother's frocks. So that's the one. Absolutely, Rex.
Absolutely.
And nice you've been doing the scouting, right? Almost out of time, believe it or not. Okay, just looking at the. Oh, and Liz comes in, the Baroness of Brighton. Morning. Hi there. Hi, baby. A friend of mine got a summer job as a taster at the local dog food factory. He also got a job as a taster at a brewery. I know which one. Presumably you do one before the other. Anyway, and finally the poll is saying, has the World Cup been tainted by President Trump's intervention? Well, finally 73% said yes, 1% said no, and 25% said the US had been knocked out, so that was instant karma. Mark Lamb, that picture of was going to get retweeted, I tell you that much, because Belgium was only a couple of months from developing a nuclear weapon. Right then, almost out of time. It's been Angela, thank you so much for your comment, who says, and I quote, an excellent viewpoint this morning, lively team and great humour. Alia has superb points and views. Well done, all. Rex, yes.
Last thing, I don't want England and Spain playing in the final. My nerves won't take it.
All right, thanks very much for that. Rex, Leyland, thank you for your time today. Andreas.
Thank you.
And Alia.
Thank you very much.
The views expressed on Viewpoint by invited studio guests and callers do not constitute an opinion endorsed in any way by Talk Radio Europe.
You've been listening to a TRE production. If you've enjoyed this program, there'll be another episode waiting for you next week, right here on this platform, where you can also access our extensive back catalogue of shows and interviews. For more information on our live programming, social media channels and apps, and how to contact Talk Radio Europe, please visit TRE.radio.